Okay, WTF am I supposed to do with all of this content anyway? It's probably one of the most common questions that clients and prospective clients ask me. And most of you already know that you need content in some way, shape, or form to market your business. But sometimes you just wind up scratching your head with no idea what to do with this big pile of content once you have it in your hot little hands. Well, the mystery ends today with the ultimate guide to pushing your content into the universe, attracting visitors, and increasing sales. Today, I'm going to reveal some of the major ways that you can push your content out into the universe. And by the way, these are some of the same exact steps I take to distribute my content, and they work like gangbusters. On a very quick side note, I have a really great and free opportunity for you at the end of this call, right before the Q&A, so hang in with me. Also, I'll leave the last 15 or 20 minutes or so for questions. If you could please hold your questions until the end. If you have one, jot a note down to yourself so you won't forget it, and I'll answer everything at the end of the call. Oh yeah, let me give you some down and dirty info on me so you have some idea of why you might want to listen to what I have to say. I'm Christy Lorette McCauley. I have a word addiction and I'm not afraid to use it or admit it. I'm a published author, content expert, marketing maven, communication chica, wife, mother, and so much more. I do wear a ton of hats, and I know you do too. I've been writing since I was like 2, but it probably didn't make much sense until much later in life. But in the real world, I have over 18 years of writing and marketing experience. Wow, how is that possible? I still feel like I'm so young. I use this experience, though, in my sweet spot industries to turn my clients' thoughts into words that resonate with their sweet spot clients. Oh yeah, I have a BS in marketing and a BS in multinational business from Florida State University, and my MBA is from Nova Southeastern University. So essentially, I'm a Florida girl that's been transplanted to Virginia somehow. But when it comes to writing and content, I do know what's up and I know how to put it into words. Okay, so enough of that. Let's do this. The first thing I want to share with you about getting your content out there is creating an email campaign. So the very first thing that I do with new content after I post it to my blog, if it's a blog post, is I turn it into an email campaign to the appropriate list. I don't always email it out right away, though. Instead, I schedule it to go out. So here's a big hint. This often allows me to have my e-newsletters done and my email campaigns scheduled well into the future. So I'm not creating these things by the seat of my pants. Email campaigns get your content in front of people you know want to hear what you have to say. Remember, these people subscribe to your list, and they did that for a reason. They're looking for information from you. When you do send out your email campaigns, make sure you're including share options, things like a link to forward to a friend and your social media icons. You want to make it easy for them to share the content with other people they know will be interested in it. This grows your list and it gets you in front of audiences that you may not otherwise have had the opportunity to get in front of. People ask me a lot about the resources that I use for this. I do use WordPress hosting for my site and for my blog, and I use MailChimp for my email marketing campaigns. And here you should be able to see, I'm going to share some campaigns with you. Now, email campaigns are probably your most basic and obvious distribution channels. And it might be something you're already doing, and that's great. If you're not, mark it down on your list as something that you need to start. Now, you can play around with and test the way you share these articles. Sometimes I post the entire article into the email, and you'll see here my top 8 reasons content marketing should be part of your marketing mix. I just list out the whole article right here in the email. They can read everything there. They don't have to go anywhere else. Other times I tease them a little bit. So I share the beginning of the article like this one, the biggest myth about content. I give them, a little teaser, and then I provide a link here, read the full story now, for them to lap up the juicy details, by going to my blog where the article is posted in its entirety. Now, the latter way is a really fab way to monitor your click-through rates, to see how many people are clicking on the links in your email, which is an indicator that they're actually reading the email when they open it. So the second way I get content out is with Reddit.com. You should see Reddit coming up on your screen. The way that Reddit works, now this is hands down my biggest source of traffic for my content. I'll give you an example. From one blog post that I shared on Reddit, it was called 10 Words to Cut from Your Writing, Why I Say It's Poppycock. It generated 143 visits to that one post in one day, and that was just from Reddit alone. So that doesn't count traffic from any other sources, just Reddit. It's totally free to set up a Reddit account, and you can make it really easy to share by adding a Reddit button to your blog posts. I'll show you really quick how that works. So basically, once you do all of this, you can basically just add a Reddit button just like you would any other type of button to your posts. When you post to your blog, you hit the Reddit button, it will take you to your Reddit account, and it pre-fills, I'm not logged in, but it pre-fills the information for you, and then you can submit it that way. Again, it's totally free to set it up. It makes it easy to share, and once you do all of it, you can do it the same way that I do it. So the other great thing about adding a Reddit button to your posts is, again, just like you would a Facebook, a Twitter, or a Google Plus button, is that other people can share the content too. So they end up pushing your content out into their universe for you. Again, they may have a different realm of people than you're getting in front of. So the easier you make it for them to share your content, the more it gets pushed out there to new people. You broaden your reach, essentially. So the next way that I get content out into the universe is called Snipply. And it's kind of a weird URL, so I'll type it in for you. But it's Snipply. Well, let's do it the old-fashioned way with Google. For some reason, it's not coming up. It's snip.ly. Now, this one is what I call piggybacking. So Snipply is another content distribution option that allows you to piggyback on the content that big businesses, big websites, big companies, big publications, are already distributing. So I'll give you an example. I was able to piggyback on an entrepreneur article with a similar topic to my blog post that brought me the most comments to my post to date. So while Reddit brought me the most traffic, with one post, Snipply landed me the highest number of comments on, it was a different post, but on a particular post. So in a nutshell, here's how it works. The first thing you want to do is head over to your favorite search engine, be it Google or something else. Conduct a search on the topic of your article or your blog post. Once you find an article that is close or somehow related to your blog post, copy the link to the article that you choose. And I'll give you a big hint here too. If it's at the top of Google, for example, then it probably is there because it has a lot of views, a lot of shares, and a lot of comments. If you do want to check on its popularity and not just trust because it landed at the top of your search engine, that it's popular, you can head over to a site called BuzzSumo. And this site allows you to put in a URL or a topic. And once you do that, it pulls up. Here's an example. This is the entrepreneur article that I piggybacked on, 10 words to cut from your writing. And you'll see over here, it tells you, it breaks down for you how many people shared it on Facebook, how many shared it on LinkedIn, how many on Twitter, yada, yada, yada. So this gives you an idea of how popular, this particular article is. And that's something that I wanted to piggyback on. So that's the article that I chose. So this is another option for finding an article to piggyback rather than just doing a regular search on your search engines. You want to see that the article has a good number of shares, and you also want to take note on which social media sites it was shared the most. So you can use this when you're sharing your own information. Okay, so once you grab the URL for the article that you want to piggyback on, you're going to head back over to your Snipply account, and you're going to paste that into this box right here and hit the snip button. Now, what happens when you do that? I'm just going to put in. This little box pops up, and you want to fill out this box. And basically, you're going to be filling out this box with the information on your blog post or your article that you wrote. So you want to put the message here that may be the title of the article. The button text, you can say read now, you can leave it as is. And this button URL is where your post or article sits. So it's the URL for a direct link to the particular article that you wrote. Now here's where the magic happens. So Snipply gives you this link. When you hit the create button, gives you this little link right here. It's a shortened link, so it's perfect for sharing on social media. You're going to choose the social media sites, where you want to spread the word about this article that you read. And this is the URL that you're going to use. So you can hit copy. If you use Buffer or you use Hootsuite to, schedule out your social media updates, you can do that directly from here. If you just want to share it on Facebook or you just want to tweet it, you can do that directly from here as well. So basically, you're sharing the article. So in my case, the entrepreneur article that I found and read, you're sharing that article with your social media network. But at the same time, you end up sharing your own article. So what happens is when people click on the link for the article, a little bar comes up, and it actually looks similar to this right here. Comes up at the bottom of their screen, and that has your article in it. So here's a couple of different scenarios that can happen. First, when they get to the bottom of that article that you shared, they're going to see your article, and they may read it because it covers a topic, that's related to the article that they just read. The second thing that could happen is they might skip reading the article that you shared altogether and, head straight down to your article and read it. Third, they could skip your article. So they might read the article you shared, but not read yours. Or finally, they might skip both articles. Once they pull it up, they may realize they're not interested. Now, the first two options, are the most likely scenarios and the most desired of outcomes, of course, because basically they were interested enough in the topic to click on the link in the first place. So, they should read one or both of those articles. So that's Snipply. And you'll notice here, there's some stats. This is a new Snipply account. So there's some stats there so you can follow exactly, how many snips, you've made and who's, clicked on links and, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a big one. Get Snipply on your list. Number 4 is YouTube. And now's a really good time to remind you that online content isn't just about blog posts or articles. It's also about videos, pictures, photos, graphs, infographics, charts. It's really anything that shares 411 online with people. So now that that's out of the way, okay, YouTube. Now, I feel the cringing going on, as I mentioned, recording a video. And that's okay. I get it. Trust me, I'm not a huge fan of being the star of my own videos either. And you don't have to be. Similar to how I'm screen sharing with you guys today, you can create videos in a similar fashion. You can do a quick intro where you're on screen for just a moment. Hi, this is the topic. I'm so-and-so. Here's my 411. Or you can stick to a complete voiceover, the entire way through. Put a professional photo of yourself up, have some kind of a pretty, background up, and just talk over it. It's totally up to you. The most important thing is that you share words that pack a punch. Relevant and useful info that your watchers can drool over so much that it makes them want to know more about you. It makes them crave you, and it makes them want to do business with you now. That's the important part. It has nothing to do with how fabulous you look on screen. People could care less. They want to know the information that you know, the knowledge that you have, and the information and knowledge that you're willing to share with them. So open up a YouTube account. You can even create your own channel. You'll see here there's a My Channel option. So every time you upload a video, it puts it onto your channel. So if people land on one of your videos, it'll populate your other video options. So it's easy for them to go from video to video. Add keywords to each video when you upload it that pertain to the topic of that video, so people can search for it and they can find it. YouTube is huge, for SEO and keywords. I mean, it's like a powerhouse for people to find the info that they're looking for, based on the information that your video has. Now, here is the key to YouTube. You need to mention your name, your personal name, your business name, your website, or put it on the video slides that you're sharing on screen. You can run a banner across the bottom. You can play around with some editing tools that are still very simple to use. Basically, you want people to know how to find you once the video credits roll. You don't want to just throw a video up there and then they have no idea how to find more information about you or how to get in touch with you. So the whole purpose of YouTube is to get your information on an outside site, such as YouTube, and you want to pull that traffic from them watching your YouTube video to your website so that they can find out more about you, more about the products or services that you're offering, and ultimately you want them to buy. Another video site that is growing by leaps and bounds is Vimeo. And I'll pull it up on the screen for you, Vimeo.com. So that's another option. Some people choose one site over the other. Some post to both. It's up to you. So if you're not convinced that YouTube is the way for the universe to hear what you have to say, I want you to check out these stats for YouTube. So more than 1 billion, yes, I said billion people, unique users visit YouTube each month. Over 6 billion, yep, billion again, hours of video are watched each month on YouTube. So that's an hour for every single person on the face of this earth. 100 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every single minute. Now, according to Nielsen, YouTube reaches more US adults between the ages of 18 and 34 than any cable network. Now, millions of subscriptions happen each day, and the number of people subscribing daily is up more than 3 times since last year. And the number of daily subscriptions is up more than 4 times, since the same time last year. So YouTube is huge. It's powerful, powerful stuff, people. So make sure that, you're using it to your fullest advantage. And again, you don't have to be, some video star or, actress to get it done. There's plenty of ways to make it work. And again, it's more about the content. It's more about the information than it is about, producing a professional video. So the next way that I get content out into the universe is StumbleUpon. Now, StumbleUpon's a site where people, your ideal clients, can find your website and your business. And by that, I really mean, your products and your services by finding your content. So they find your content and it drives them to your site, which ultimately, produces or puts your products and services right in front of their face. So you can share your individual blog posts on StumbleUpon. And then what StumbleUpon does is they, in turn, suggest your content to its members that have an interest in the subject or the topic of your content. So if I, for example, posted something about, content marketing, anyone who has shown an interest in content marketing would be presented with my information. And when they click Stumble, it keeps bringing up different articles or different content that pertains to that particular subject matter. Now, it's another free site to join. So it's similar to how you add content to Reddit using a Reddit button from your own site. You can do the same thing with StumbleUpon. So on my site, on the blog, back to the blog again, you probably noticed there were several different buttons on the bottom, and one of those is also StumbleUpon. So you can do the same thing. Basically, click your StumbleUpon button on whatever blog post you're trying to distribute, and then it's going to go to your StumbleUpon account, and it's going to ask you if it's content that anyone can see, and then it adds to your likes. So similar to how visitors can use the Reddit button on your posts to share your content on their Reddit accounts, they can also do the same thing with the StumbleUpon button on your blog posts too. So again, it's a really fabulous way to get people to share your content. So you're sharing it, you're pushing it out into the universe by, putting it on your StumbleUpon account, and then it's getting in front of people. And then people that do go to your blog, also can share it with their StumbleUpon crowd, and it just, snowballs from there. So the next thing is Pinterest. Pinterest is a biggie. And if you're not familiar with Pinterest, all it really is an electronic bulletin board where you can pin the ideas that you come across so you can then access them later. And I'll give you a really super quick example. For my daughter's first birthday, I poured over hundreds, if not thousands, of party themes and ideas using Pinterest. And I ended up planning basically her entire party through things that I found on Pinterest. Now, whether your business is product or service based, Pinterest works. So don't get caught up in the fact that you're a service-based business and, how is this going to help you out? Because it can, and I promise it can, and it does. And here's how it might go down. So I'm searching for ladybug party theme ideas. I see your pin for a guide with hundreds of ladybug party theme ideas. Ooh, I hit the jackpot. I click on the pic that you pinned. I click on the guide pic that, opens up, or I click on the little website below that says where the pic is originally from, and voila, I'm reading your guide. Your guide and the pic from Pinterest actually sits on your website or your blog or, wherever. I then realize that you sell some of these fabulous ladybug party items that you feature in your oh so helpful guide, and I buy said products. A sale, and all because I came across a picture that you posted on Pinterest that led me to a guide that led me to the products you're selling that I want to buy. So I should mention here that it can work for services. If you offer a guide, for example, on the 100 ways to throw a big wedding on a small budget, and you're a wedding planner, you're setting yourself up to land some business. You know, if you're a copywriter and you offer a guide on the top 10 ways to create attention-grabbing headlines, again, you're getting it in front of people that are likely to book your services. These folks are obviously in the market for copywriting, be it learning how to do it themselves or possibly hiring someone to do it for them. You know, you're offering a guide, you know, that walks them through how to, you know, create these dazzling headlines, and they either read that and use it, and maybe they buy another product that you're offering, like some other, you know, home study course or whatever on some other copywriting service, or they realize, I can't do this. I need this, you know, guy or gal to write my headlines and write my copy and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, let me, you know, give them a call or shoot them an email. So, you know, don't get caught up on the fact that how's this going to work for services when I don't have a pretty product like these cute little baby shoes, you know, to show, you know, to get people interested. So now, I just want to say that Pinterest goes a lot deeper than, you know, people just, you know, looking at pictures and clicking on pictures and finding, you know, content beyond that. Because what happens is people can then turn around and pin your pins, which is again how the word spreads and how sales numbers get a boost. So from a business owner's perspective, so from my perspective, from your perspective, this is what you want to do to share your content. First, you want to open a Pinterest account, obviously, and you can use your personal Pinterest account, or you can open an account for your business. So if you want to keep your personal pins separate, you can. I will tell you this though, sharing, you know, having one account for both sides, personal and business, allows people to get to know you and shows your personality a little bit. And especially for a service, I would say service-based business, this is fabulous because people want to know who you are and they want to like you, and then they want to work with you. The second thing that you want to do, but it's up to you, you know, whether you want to keep it separate or not. But this next thing you want to do is create categories for your pins. So I may have, you know, like this is my personal account, I think. So I mentioned before, you know, I was planning a first birthday. So I have a first birthday one. I have one for a kitchen because we were remodeling our home at the time. I have one for a wrapping paper station. I have one for my writing. So I posted some of my published articles in there. Not all of them. There's too many, but mudroom info, window treatments, anniversary gifts for my husband. My business one has, you know, content marketing, headlines, copywriting, you know, has some different categories like that. And then I file things away on my pin board or my electronic board according to the category. So you can do the same. So here's how it works. You want to, I have a Pinterest button on my blog posts as well. So if you want to add that to yours, you can do that too. Makes it easy for you to share, makes it easy for other people to share. So when you post a pic with your blog posts, which every blog post should have a picture, by the way, you can then pin this picture to your Pinterest account in the appropriate category, of course. There's a little description box that pops up when you do this. You want to fill that out. Fill in a quick question. I might not be logged in correctly, so let's see. Here we go. All right, so you're going to pick the board where you want it to go, depending on what category you have. And then here in the description, you want to fill that out a little bit. You don't have to write, War and Peace here. It might just be that you fill in the title of the blog post or the article. That might be enough to grab people's attention. And then make sure you include a direct link. So this link here, a direct link to the content that you're sharing. You don't want them to click on the link and land on your homepage, and then they're like, this isn't the info that I'm looking for, and then they just click off, because they're not going to search for it. So don't do that to yourself. Pin it, and you're done. It's now searchable, it's pinnable, and it's shareable. That picture is what I'm talking about, is searchable, pinnable, and shareable, all on Pinterest right now. Now, another thing that you can do is you can create a teaser. And what I mean by a teaser is you basically choose a photo and use a site like PicMonkey, for example, to add some text to the photo. And you take the same steps to get it on Pinterest that I went through with you earlier, and it can have the same effect. And I can show you an example of what a teaser looks like. Give me 1 second. And that will also take us into our next topic, or next way to distribute. Let's see. Oh, I had this up earlier and then I let it go, so I apologize for taking just a moment. But I want to show you, because it's a really effective way and a really kind of fun way to get some info, some 411 out there. People like visuals, people like, okay, here we go. So this picture right here is what is considered a teaser. And you can go a lot of different ways with this. So this is a stock photo that I pulled. And then I went into PicMonkey and I created this text. So your ideal clients have a sweet spot, find out how to fill it. When people click on the link, it takes them to my Work With Me page. Yours might take them to a landing page, for a course, a teleseminar. It could take them to your homepage. It depends on what the photo is and what you're trying to accomplish. But this, in essence, is a teaser photo. Some people so this might say, your ideal clients have a sweet spot. Grab your free, guide to, how to write sweet spot copy or something like that. And they click on it, takes them to a landing page for this free guide that you're giving away. They fill in their email address and boom, they're on your list and they're receiving your content. Okay. Piggybacking on that is the next and final thing that I wanted to share with you today. This is Instagram, and I can't really show you Instagram on the computer because it's more of an app. But Instagram is a straight up photo sharing site. So you cannot post an update on Instagram without including a picture. So where Facebook, allows you to do one or the other or both, you can't do that on Instagram. You got to share a pic, and then, you can put some info, in it. So when you create these teaser pics, you can also share them on Instagram. You can include a comment, like I said, with the teaser pic, which should include the link where you want them to go. So same way this included one that went to the Work With Me page, you want to do that with anything that you post on Instagram. All right, so that's not every way in the universe that you can share content, but it is a lot of the effective ways that you can push your content out into the universe. You can attract your visitors and increase your sales. So I hope that you wrote that all down, and I hope that you especially pulled, any ways that you're not already using to get your content out there. Okay, so let's get to the free fab offer I promised you earlier in the call before I open it up for questions. I am rolling out the Write, and that's WRITE, Write Sweet Spot Copy Boot Camp. First class is going to start in January, and normally I'll be charging $397 for this. But I'm looking for some charter members to take the boot camp and provide me with feedback on it before I, really roll it out in its full glory. So if you're interested, you do get it on the ground floor. It's absolutely free in exchange for some feedback. So no obligations for anything. I'm not charging you anything. There's no charge later on. I'm really looking for people to take it and honestly tell me what was great about it, what was good about it, what needs improvement. So here is what it includes, so you can determine if it's something that might be of interest or help to you. Basically, you're someone who wants to write your own delicious copy, and that's great. Good for you. The Write Sweet Spot Copy Bootcamp is your kick in the pants. It's basically a 4-week intensive, but that sounds really hard and yucky. So what it really is a fun way to sprinkle a whole lot of deliciousness into your writing recipes so that your sweet spot clients, your ideal clients, lap up what you have to offer. They're drooling over your content, and your copy, makes them want to hunt for the buy now button. So here's what you get. You get a 30-minute private session with moi. I want to get to know you both personally and as a pro. We can dish about your biz, your writing goals, even your favorite TV show, no matter how much of an addiction it is for you, I won't judge. You're going to receive weekly playbooks with weekly homework assignments, and I'll provide personal feedback on each assignment. So you can really quickly and easily whip your copy into shape. You'll also get some interaction with your fellow boot campers in a private community. I found that you learn tons from each other. You can bounce ideas off of each other, gather feedback, or dish on the latest celeb news, whatever. You also finally get some weekly Q&A calls. These are group calls where I'll be on the call and everyone else in the boot camp will be on the call. And this is really your chance to ask me anything you want. We can slot 30 minutes for each group chat, but I'll hang on to make sure that all of your questions are answered before we bid farewell. The spots are limited to 10 boot campers on these, so that I can really provide individual attention to each boot camper. Again, this is normally an investment of $397, but for you, it's free. If you're interested, you can shoot me an email to Kristie, Kristie, at actionmarketingcopy.com, and we'll get you enrolled. No catch, no obligation. Okay, a little obligation. You have to provide me with some constructive criticism. Once I enroll a total of 20 charter members, this offer is off the table. So if you're interested, grab your spot now. All right, so let's open it up for questions. Any questions? All right. If there aren't any questions, then we'll go ahead and end it. But thanks for hanging with me. Bye-bye.